Something told me to let the day play out because another hiring was on the horizon. Not the hiring y'all are looking for, but we now have a quarterback coach in DC, and he has a legacy here because his father is the great Doug Williams. We interviewed two guys, including the guy everybody wants, and probably the new actual favorite for defensive coordinator today. Let's discuss. What it doing? What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? It's your boy Rio Robinson back with the latest and greatest on the Rambling with Rio YouTube channel, where we ramble about our Washington Commanders. It is Wednesday, January 14th, and we're getting news in abundance about this team on a regular basis as they're trying to get their coaching staff together so we can even talk about the 2026 offseason. Senior Bowl's coming up in a few weeks, so hires will be coming rapidly. I think we'll know who the defensive coordinator is by Friday night. You know, Lou, don't go to dinner and drinks on Friday night. I think we're going to get another Friday evening news dump. But son of Doug Williams and former quarterback coach for the Atlanta Falcons, DJ Williams, is set to be your next quarterback coach here in DC, taking the job formerly held by Tavita Pritchard and held on a temporary basis by our new offensive coordinator, David Blau. Everybody welcome DJ to the team, to the fraternity, to the family. He was already part of the family by blood. I'm sure Doug had his hand in this as well, but the brother is actually qualified, you know? I know Mike Bercovici, that Genovese sounding ass name, that was in the fact that he had some layover with Jaden in Arizona State. I know that's what attracted us, but this guy's actually been a quarterback coach in this league for the last 2 years. Mike Bercovici is an assistant quarterback coach. So while me and a lot of people might look at it immediately and say, oh, legacy hire, Nepo hire, he's qualified for said position. He's actually held this exact position on the team where the head coach just got fired. So DJ Williams, totally qualified for the job. He's been an offensive assistant for the Saints for a few years and a quarterback coach for the last two there with Michael Penix and company. I will say this. Michael Penix ain't Jaden Daniels. Michael Penix is not Jaden Daniels. And that offense looked significantly better when Kirk Cousins got on the field this year. Do with that information what you will, but shout out to DJ Williams for getting the quarterback coach job here. We're filling out the staff, baby. David Blau is your OC. DJ Williams is your quarterback coach. I don't know who the assistant quarterback coach is. Not sure I care too much. Maybe Brian Johnson can hold multiple positions in the new offensive staff. We need an O-line coach. That's what we need to get to soon. But the bigger information that took place today. So yesterday I did a stream. And then I hopped on Commanders Kings with Lou, Rico, Ed, and we discussed ad nauseum the Brian Flores thing. I think about 99.9% of the fan base is all in on a potential Brian Flores hiring in DC. I spent the majority of that time telling you we're hoping to interview him, but it ain't happening, and we probably won't get an interview with this man. And you know what we were told today by national media? He was there. He was at BigBear.ai Performance Center interviewing today. Brian Flores is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. We've reached the very serious final stages of finding a defensive coordinator. And I know y'all gonna be like Rio, but he took the interview. It's still a long shot to me that we land Brian Flores, but this is good news. This is a step in the right direction. He actually took the time because he's interviewing for the Steelers head coaching job. He's interviewing for the Ravens head coaching job. I'm sure the Vikings would like their say with him before he's done his process. And I'm sure there will be other suitors for a defensive coordinator spot as well if he doesn't get a head coaching job. but this is a step in the right direction. This is a step in the right direction, man. It's a step in the right direction that he actually met with us. Also, even if we don't end up landing a Brian Flores, we got him in the building. You want to hear from a multitude of big brains, good coaches, big brains. You want to hear that. You want to hear from people like this what they would do. If you were the defensive coordinator, where would you start? Who would you pick? Who would you seek to change things here? Because we're as bad as it gets. It looked at times like one of the most historically bad defenses you've ever seen. I know every fan base feels like that when their team is struggling, but it definitely felt at times like this is as bad as it's ever got here. This is as bad as it's ever been here. So for them to actually Flores in the building this year, this is a big deal. This is a big deal, ladies and gentlemen. This is a big deal. Hold up. Are y'all good on your? Are y'all saying it's froze? The camera froze? It ain't on my end. That shit look fine. I don't see no issue on mine. Let me exit the camera and come back because on my end, the camera's good. But even if it's an interview just to pick somebody's brain, I'll gladly take it. I'll gladly take it because meeting with one of the best to do this shit, he's easily the number one candidate on the market for anybody who would need it. This is the top, this is the upper echelon. This is the guy. This is if like Ben Johnson on this year's hiring cycle, Flores is that as far as defensive coordinators are concerned. He's that. So him meeting with us is a big deal to me. This shit means something to me. I don't know what's going on with my camera, but from my end, that shit look like it's straight. I turned it off if I'm frozen because I'm not just trying to be up there like a mugshot. It sounds good, though. Can you hear me? Is my sound good? I know we had a national Verizon and everything outage today in this country. Everybody shit was tweaking. On my end, StreamYard must be lying to me because on my end, it says everything is good. So the mic is good, but the picture wasn't working. Gotcha. So we're just going audio only tonight. Shout out to the over 400 we have in the building right now. Brian Flores interviewing here means that 1, he's actually interested. 2, he's open for business. And 3, Dan Quinn is taking this defensive coordinator search very, very serious. Patrick Graham interview done. I don't know if he was in the building. I haven't heard any word that he was in the building. Denard Wilson interview done. Joe Cullen interview done. We got Gannon coming tomorrow, and we have Brian Flores in the building today. But, I think the realistic favorite to get the job would be this guy. And this would truly show me that Dan Quinn is swinging for the fences. Mr. Karl Scott, the defensive back coach / passing game coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. Ding, ding, ding. This is very serious, and I think there's a reason why he's one of the final guys we talk to. Brian Flores is not making a decision in the next couple days. Yes, we interviewed him today. You're not going to hear from him because he has to go through some head coaching interviews. He probably plays the process out a little bit. He a free agent. His contract has expired in Minnesota. So why would he not go see what's going on? See what's going on, man. So I'm going to put the camera back on. Y'all let me know if the camera's straight on y'all end. If y'all see me, if y'all hear me, if I'm moving again and the shit don't look like it's in 120p, let me know. If not, we're going to rock it out off camera at the moment. But this is my favorite to get the defensive coordinator position. Karl Scott. Has he called defensive plays before? No, but this is a guy, you hear it. You hear it, you see it, and his reputation absolutely precedes him. People love this guy. Seattle fans want no part of losing this guy. He has worked for Nick Saban, Pete Carroll, and Mike Macdonald. Mike Macdonald got this job last year, and as a young hotshot coach, you are clearing the building out. You are taking the Tommy gun and you're clearing the building out. I don't need anybody to stay on my staff. This is my show now. Deuces. He stuck around. He stuck around. Karl Scott is one of those, bro. Louis T put me on to this video, a 53-minute video of Karl Scott talking ball when he was working as the defensive back coach with Saban. He was there when Surtain and them boys was there, and he developed the shit out of that room. He's developed the shit out of that Seattle Seahawks cornerback room. And they got hella free agents coming out of Seattle that could potentially come with him if he gets this job here. This brother breathes football. This is the type of person you want coaching it, bro. You want a little taste of what this guy is as a defensive coordinator. Go just put Karl Scott in on YouTube. There should be about a 53-minute video of him breaking down the defense. It's like a little coaches symposium type ordeal where he's presenting the skeleton and design of the scheme that they run. And people are asking questions. Oh, but what if we get the back in the flat here? What if the slot receiver comes up the seam? Is it just leaving the safety by himself? Listen to the answers he has for every question that is asked. That's a fucking defensive coordinator if I've ever seen one. This will probably be, he will walk in this door day one and be the smartest defensive guy in the building the second he gets there. This, which also shocked me too, because in a year where I think fans, including me, we think that Dan Quinn is coaching for his life right now, and that's what the outside think. I think the reality that none of us want to hear that's probably true is that Dan Quinn and Adam Peters are like this, and they are Teflon, and they are here for the foreseeable future and at least their 5-year contract. And if that's the case, he can afford saying, I'm going to hire you two younger. Well, I mean, Karl Scott's 40. He's not old either. I'm going to hire two younger guys that have never called plays before, that are more than qualified, that are going to probably be number 1 and 2, the smartest motherfuckers in this building the second that they touch down in Ashburn. This guy is impressive, bro. This guy is impressive, and he's with Mike Macdonald right now. Watch that Seattle defense. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. The symmetry that secondary plays with. Watching Seattle play, watching Houston play. And these are defenses that don't rely on blitzing. Mike Macdonald, like the Houston defense, they don't rely on blitzing. They rely on the play of their secondary and their front four getting to the quarterback. We need people that can do those things, but this is a very qualified candidate for this job. And this is my realistic favorite. Brian Flores, we would all love to see us get Brian Flores. Until I'm proven wrong, I don't think we're getting Brian Flores. I think he's going to get the Pittsburgh head coaching job, or he's going to go back to Minnesota, or another better defensive opening. But I think this is the guy. I think, who was it? Somebody on Twitter, Air Raid Concepts. Steve on Twitter put it out a few weeks ago, and ever since then, I've been checking on that name. I've circled it. I've been looking up stuff about it, and everything you see about this guy, we speak very highly of Karl Scott. And it says something in the pecking order that Karl Scott's interview is jammed between Brian Flores and Jonathan Gannon. He was not one of the first names that we called. He was not a Zoom interview. He was in the building. They had him up in BigBear.ai today interviewing for the position, man. Scotty, my boy, 703, Mr. Woodbridge himself in the building, gifting 5 memberships to the channel, man. I appreciate you, man. God bless you. And for always supporting the channel, being a friend. a supporter, an advocate, my guy. I appreciate you for the 5 gifted. But DJ Williams is your quarterback coach. We interviewed Brian Flores today, and we interviewed Karl Scott today. I'm not sure we're going to hear any other names in this. I'm not sure we're going to hear any other names in the conversation at this point. I think we've got all the names we're going to get. I think that's as far a net as you could possibly cast for the defensive coordinator position. What's that, 6, 7 guys? That's enough. It's enough. You've brought enough big brains in. You've heard the plan. You've heard the syllabus of that many guys. Let's hire one. Let's get these guys together. Let's send them off to the Senior Bowl and the East and West Shrine Bowl in a couple weeks, and let's get to business. And if Karl Scott ends up being the hire on the defensive side, then they got a few free agents over there. Reek Willen, a free agent. Josh Jobe, who used to be ass before he was developed by Karl Scott in Seattle. Josh Jobe was not good. He went over there. He's starting now. Kobe Bryant, all these guys in that Seattle secondary, hoopers, man, ballers, and they fit those profile of the type of corners that I think Dan Quinn would like in the defense. So I think Karl Scott is a realistic favorite for the job, man. They want no part. Gabe's on the defenders? Is this real? Shout out to Gabe. Hey, let me find out my boy Ed Shiggity Oliver put his connections with the defenders together to get Gabe Taylor in DC, man. Hey, y'all never stop rooting for the kid. Gabe found him a spot on the DC defenders. Shout out to Gabe. Let's go. Big Gabe. Gabe Taylor, brother of Sean Taylor, signed. Did he sign? Did he get drafted? I don't know how that works over in the UFL. Somebody was sending me graphics talking about a draft. They be drafting over there? What is the length of a UFL draft? What does it consist of? But shout out to Gabe Taylor for getting some work. Getting some work in, man. Love to see it. Love to see it, man. Hashtag SOTG. But, woo. Here we go, man. Here we go. I think it's a connectivity issue. That might be the people seeing me pause. Their shit might be tripping because I'm getting hella people and my folks is texting me like, you look good on my end. Camera's working on my end. On my end, I see it. My Wi-Fi hitting right now. My gig speed is operating very functionally on this end right now. So we've interviewed 1,000 people for the defensive coordinator position. Are they going to add any more names to the list? Do y'all think they add any more names to the list? Maybe you bring in somebody from Houston just because, bro. Just the same way that these dudes get hired for breathing in the same room as McVay. Hey, I just want somebody that shared the air in that Houston room. Somebody's going to say, oh, the Houston linebacker coach, the Houston DB coach. Well, the Houston linebacker coach, they have a linebacker. I think it's like Billy Davis or something, but we know D'Amico Ryans is the linebacker coach there. He was an all-pro linebacker. We know what the vibes are over there. But Marcus Dixon, Vikings D-line coach, yeah, he could. That could work. I think we're good, though. I think we're good. They still have Gannon to interview tomorrow. I think Gannon will probably be the last interview, and we're going to find out who it is. We're going to find out who it is on Friday. We're going to find out, just like we found it, like they like make breaking news on Friday. We found out about David Blau on Friday evening. I think we're going to find out about Karl Scott or Brian Flores or Jonathan Gannon or Denard Wilson, Joe Cullen, Patrick Graham. We're going to find out who the defensive coordinator is. Also, you got to interview all these people too, because you could potentially add them to the coaching staff in other spots. Some of these guys are on system or regimes that just got fired and they're not going to be retained in their current spot. You're not just interviewing guys for the main job. There will be other openings available, because what I don't want is for us to hire a defensive coordinator and say, hey, you're hired, but you got to keep all the guys we got here because we like Daryl Tapp and we like Jason Simmons and Tom Donatel and company. Like we don't need to do that. We need to let them have say in who they're bringing, especially if you bring in somebody like Brian Flores. You let Brian Flores do whatever the fuck he wants to. This Karl Scott guy seems very bright. He seems very sharp, and he seems obsessed with the sport of football and the details of it. And he has an answer for everything. I don't think we're going to get a bunch of sass at the podium because this defense is laying eggs on Sunday. I don't think we're going to get him sniping back and forth with the media like it's JP Finley's fault that Quan Martin can't tackle. Or it's Ben Standick's fault that Mikey get his shit cooked every time he's not playing off coverage. We need this, man. We need this type of energy here, man. We need this type of every time someone says this, it's funny as shit, man. But Flores get the interview. We're going to find out what type of closer Dan Quinn and company are, because this could be a leverage play interview. Like, let me go show the Vikings, if I don't get a head coaching job, that they got some competition. Let me go show her that the streets love me out here. Let me go show her what she could be missing out on. They love a nigga in these streets. You know what I'm saying? They like me out here. Don't let me get too comfortable. I might find a home elsewhere. It could be a leverage play. Or he could believe in the vision of Dan Quinn and company, and Josh Harris and company may cut the check, make you the highest paid defensive coordinator in the league, because that is the type of offer it would probably require to come take a job on a team with no defensive talent. And I'm not saying we need to have the Eagles defense or the Texans defense to lure a top DC candidate away from their current situation. But here's the thing. Brian Flores is an unrestricted free agent. He can go wherever he likes. They didn't extend him during his contract like a lot of teams do when they know they're sticking with their guy. So he's free to talk to whoever he'd like to talk to. He's at the break stage in his relationship, and he's perusing the streets and seeing what's out there. And we're the first defensive coordinator interview he's taken. He's taken the Ravens and the Pittsburgh head coaching interviews, two of the biggest openings we'll probably ever see in the sport, because their coaches were lasted 19 and 18 years. There's a good chance that he doesn't get either of those jobs, because you know about his pending lawsuit with the NFL. You know, the Steelers were the first team to stick their chest out, because shout out Mike Tomlin, stick their chest out and say, you know what? While the league not rocking with you, Brian, we rocking with you. Get on staff with Mike Tomlin. He goes from there and moves on to get the defensive coordinator job in Minnesota. And they're the third best defense in the league this year. You ask 9 out of 10 fans, they probably can't name a player on that Vikings defense. Don't say John Allen and don't say Harrison Smith. And most people couldn't name a single player over there. But he got them boys playing ball. And I don't think it would take too long as AP spent at least something to bring some people in here, and we hit on a couple of draft picks. I don't think it would take as long as it would take the normal upstart defensive coordinator to fix what we got going here in DC. But as far as realistically, like the supernatural, I'll believe it when I see it. So the brother that you see on this screen right now is my favorite, Van Ginkel, and he's a free agent, bro. Van Ginkel may be the best defender of the wide receiver screen in the history of the league. That white boy be sniffing him out like a bloodhound, and he be taking shit to the crib. I wish Jaden would have let him would just let him take it to the crib and didn't try to tackle him on that play. You know, we might have got to watch Jaden play for a couple more weeks this season. But Karl Scott is currently my favorite, and don't sleep on Karl Scott, because people speak of his name highly in this league, and I trust somebody who's coached under and developed DBs under Pete Carroll, Mike McDonald, and Nick Saban. I'm going to take a quick word from our sponsors, and we're going to keep this thing going.
Sleeper is the #1 fantasy sports app. It pays to know sports. Pick more or less on top players. Your first pick is on us, so start winning now. Play in Texas, Georgia, Minnesota, and 27 more states. Pick anytime across all sports, pregame or live. Over 10 million players are already on Sleeper. Make your picks count. Score up to 1,000 times your cash. Join today. Get up to $100 credit using code RIO91. Call your shot on Sleeper. Download now.
Rio91 on the Sleeper app. Make sure you use my code Rio91. And if you are a Hoops fan, NBA, they got a 100% profit boost. Reusable until you win. You can keep spamming that shit until you hit one of your picks on there. If you watch college hoops as well, they have an 80 to 100% profit boost on there right now as well. Rio91 on the Sleeper app. So, as we round out this, I know what I wanted to get to next. So, everybody that was so hyped week 18, oh my God, we showed the Philadelphia Eagles. Us beating them is the reason why their season ended up running into San Francisco in the first round. Well, here's the thing. Dante Moore, the quarterback for Oregon, has just went back to school after a pretty fucking rough college football playoff, meaning there is only one quarterback being picked from pick 1 through pick 7, and that's going to be the first pick of the draft, meaning picks 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 5 of them, the top 5 non-quarterbacks potentially can be off the board. We better pray some tackle stocks start going up and some more shit, because we've been having the David Bailey versus Ruben Bain versus Caleb Downs debates, and picking 7 in this weak-ass draft, there's a world where none of them niggas going to be on the board when we pick. None of them. And we're going to start. Y'all ready to speak Keldrick Falk? Peter Woods. Big Cassius Howe, who I think is going to go crazy testing and stuff because he's a very quick twitch player. Makai Lemon, Kenyon Sadiq, Jeremiah Love, ladies and gentlemen. I think your pick of the litter would be a lot more simpler if we would have just fucking lost the game versus the Eagles week 18. I know fans don't be trying to hear that. Well, I'm not rooting for my team to lose. Well, guess what? Nigga like me will. When the season is, when there's nothing left to be accomplished in the season, a Josh Johnson-led victory don't do shit for me. It don't do shit for me. I ain't feel no better about this organization because Josh Johnson led a victory week 18. That shit did not make me feel anything. Ooh, look at us. We got 2 wins in the NFC East divisional round robin December tournament. We got 2 episodes of Hard Knocks positivity. Keldrick Falk me. Peter Woods me. Cassius Howe. Kenyon Sadiq. Jeremiah Love, ladies and gentlemen. Jordan Tyson. Carnell Tate. Because that's 5 spots that get picked between us. There is a very real possibility. You know, everything changes through the testing process. You know, someone tests well, someone tests not well. They start overlooking tape. They start overlooking college accomplishment and production because someone in underwear is testing better. It gets weird. It gets weird, and we know how this draft process goes. But all I'm saying is the people that were telling us that top 5 pick don't matter. 5 is the same as 7. And even that was how I was trying to talk myself into coping with the fact that we won that pointless ass game versus Tanner McKee. But 5 and 7 are not the same, bro. 2, 3, 4 are the picks between 1 and 5. Somebody was going to be on that board. There's a good chance they're not now. Hey, Spencer Fano, need you drafted early. Miami's tackle, need you drafted early. Hey, them Utah tackles and Miami's tackles, I need y'all to go early, man. I need y'all to go early. Hey, Sonny Styles is like that, DB. Sonny Styles is like that. He is very good. And then there's the, well, if you don't love what's there at 7, just trade back. And at that point, inquiring minds would like to know who's trading up and who are they trading up for? Yes, a team that should not be picking as high as they are, maybe like the Chiefs or something, the Rams that are right outside the top 10. A team like that has the luxury to start moving up and down the board, especially in a class where it doesn't feel like there are players that they need to do so. But I don't think they're. Hey, my son was saying the same shit when we took a walk earlier. He was like, "Hey, Papa, but what if Ty Simpson?" I was like, "I'm gonna hold you right there, champ. I don't think Ty Simpson's gonna get. I don't. This could end up being like the 2022 draft class, where one quarterback went in the first round, and we don't see another one of them till late day 2, early day 3. Trinidad Chambliss, Ty Simpson, and company. They don't got no reason going in the first round of this NFL draft. But you know, it be happening though. It be happening though. Somebody who can afford to could trade up to number 7. But I'm looking at the draft board and I don't know, man. I don't know. We most certainly do need an O-line coach. And offensively, that'll be the next thing, the next piece of the puzzle here now that we have David Blau and DJ Williams set as the quarterback coach and offensive coordinator. The next big position is going to be, hey, Trinidad Chambliss is cool and he was a great story, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Hey, there are 3 offensive weapons that I would be. Listen, if they took Makai Lemon, they took Kenyon Sadiq, they took Jeremiah Love, that would piss a lot of people off. I would understand it. I think Makai Lemon is going to be this year's Jackson Smith and Jigba Mecca Abuka type, where they overthink him. They overthink him. Makai Lemon is fucking like that. And people are going to realize that as they go through the draft process. Makai Lemon's really good. Kenyon Sadiq is really good. Jeremiah Love is really good. Give me one of the pass catchers over the running back if we were to randomly do some shit like that. But, hey, I would let people cope if we get a demon in here, bro. We need a demon. We need some demons on this offense, man. I watch demon performances by people who are not supposed to be demons on the playoffs for Wild Card Weekend. Christian Kirk going crazy. I said Christian Kirk, Stephen A. Smith. Christian Kirk went crazy. Parker Washington went crazy. Romeo Doubs went crazy. Unrestricted free agent, by the way. Bring him and the Guardian Cap to DC. So I'm looking at Parker Washington go crazy. Romeo Doubs go crazy. Christian Kirk going crazy. Luther Burden would have went crazy if Caleb would have not had a pass get knocked down because he was about to take a drag route 70 yards to the crib on 4th down, but the ball got knocked down. We need some demons in the wide receiver room, man. So if they decided, and there's a world where when we get to 7, the best players on our board end up being a weapon. Listen, we got a lot of needs, I know. A team like Chicago with a much better roster than ours, they can afford to take Colston Loveland at pick 10 while they still had a couple more needs on the roster. They could afford that. This team, let me see how the free agency period of the offseason goes. But there is a world where the best player on the board is not that position of need like edge rusher or safety or cornerback or linebacker from the defensive side that everybody wants. And when we end up taking one of those players that's going to make fans crash out, I'm going to say, remember everybody who wanted to win that stupid ass game in week 18. So beggars can't be choosers. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Whatever the best player is on the board at pick 7, take that shit. Take that shit and don't look back. We need a game changer. We need some blue chip talent on the board this year. And they're saying that the top of the draft class is not as sexy as it typically is, but you never know. I think Caleb Downs should go earlier than 7. He is a safety, though, and they poo-poo at that position in the NFL. Kyle Hamilton fell to the mid-20s. And, yeah, we were one of those teams that passed on Kyle Hamilton. Don't overthink players like Caleb Downs. I think Caleb Downs would go crazy in that Carl Scott defense, by the way. But I think Brian Flores would love a Keldrick Faulk, though. He looked like a Brian Flores kind of guy. Big, stout, hold the edge type of guy, big bull rusher. I'm just saying, man. Yeah, every position is a position of need. Pretty much everything but quarterback and offensive tackle at this point. But let's get it, man. Let's get it. Hey, man, yeah, you don't believe in the great Jake Moody? The great Jake Moody? He did his thing. I like Jake Moody. I just would like us to pick up like a priority undrafted free agent just to have him there to look over his shoulder, something to keep him on his job, something to let him know, like, if I ever regress or fall off too bad and get off the wagon, your replacement is right behind you, brother. Somebody we can practice squad type shit. I need it. I need it because Jake Moody could get the job and get comfortable and start bullshitting again. Yep. I don't hate Mansour Delane. I like a couple other cornerbacks better than him, though. At 7, I don't like Mansour Delane. You know? Yeah, if Caleb Downs is there at 7, he's going to be the pick, I think. But who knows, man? Who knows? And ultimately, nothing I'm saying or what any of y'all was saying, nothing in this holds any merit because the NFL may see guys differently than the way you and I see it watching college football on Saturdays and in the playoffs with the national championship upcoming. I just need Adam Peters and company to hit on some picks this year. I need 2 impact starters out of this class. We got 6 picks going into it. I need 2 impact starters. I didn't say superstar. I didn't say all pros. I didn't say Pro Bowl in year 1. I need 2 impact starters. I need 3 at minimum contributors. I need 3 people you draft to contribute in year 1. I didn't say I need 3 to be finished products in year 1. I need 3 drafted players of your 6 picks to be a contributor to this football team in 2026. I know they don't look at this shit like we do as fans. They may not feel it's as dire to get to it as we do, but I'd like to see a change of philosophy in 2026. And if they go the way I think they're going with the defensive coordinator, and they get this guy to have on the screen right now, I'm of the assumption that he's the realistic favorite in the clubhouse right now. If they go with Blau and Karl Scott, 2 guys that have never, 2 uber smart, big brain guys that have never called plays before, that would tell me the philosophy is a little bit different here because I didn't think that would be the route they would be going if Dan Quinn was out here putting his balls on the line. So maybe we're going into it differently. Maybe we're going, oh my God, Michael Trigg in the 3rd round. I would love it. And I'm very curious. That's the tight end position is the position that give me 1 game changer. Give me 2 impact starters. Give me 3 contributors. I'm trying to set the barometer fairly low, but this is what we need this year. We can't have a 3-pick stretch of Mikey Sanders still, Jerzon Newton, and Ben Sinnott this year. Can't have that. I think the most interesting position that also, I think by the time we get to the draft, I think Cassius Howe is going to be a top 10-ish pick. So I wouldn't hate Cassius Howe. Cassius Howe and David Bailey are my 2 favorite edges in the class because I don't know exactly what Ruben Bain's going to be in the league. I know he's going to wreck games. He's going to be a dog. I don't know if I consider that an NFL edge. The edges I would take early is Cassius Howe and David Bailey. But back to what I was about to get into, tight end is like the most interesting position on this team heading into free agency to me because I don't care where we drafted Ben Sinnott. We can't go into Jaden's year 3 saying Ben Sinnott is the guy. So there are quite a few names on the list for free agent tight ends. And I want us to talk about that for a second, because let's say we don't even get the top guys on the market. What are our options? You know, every year during the offseason, there's always a player's name I'm going to throw around in the like, this would be a thrift shop option. This year, it's Tyler Conklin. Tyler Conklin is the name I'm going to keep throwing around when it comes to tight end free agency, because based on Adam Peters' last 2 years, that would be the type of move Adam Peters would do. Let's go look at some free agent tight ends from the 2026 class, and let's play some who are we interested in? Who are we not interested in? Because there are quite a few names on this list. Let's look at some of these tight ends. Travis Kelce, hell no, but great career, legend. He don't even need to play football. Go be Mr. Swift, brother. David Njoku, who's had quite a few injuries in his career. He's only 29 and a half. He's going to be 30 soon. I'm interested if we're not able to get one of the top 4 or 5 guys, but I'm cool. Dallas Goedert is 31 years old. Dallas Goedert just had 11 touchdowns this year, being thrown to from limited ass Jalen Hurts. But I'd like to go younger. Not trying to be that guy where every player we sign got to be young, but I need to be told no by younger players, better players before I go into the 30s. You know, we're coming from an ancient tight end, even though Zach Ertz was hooping. We're coming from having an ancient tight end. Let's try to get a younger guy. So Tyler Higbee, I'm cool. Until we have the thrift shop, then maybe we'll come, you know, we'll spin the block and say what's up. Kyle Pitts will be he will be the biggest name on this market. 25 years old, coming off a phenomenal season, almost his second 1,000-yard season in the league. That he's a quick separator. He has not quite reached his peak yet in this league. 25 years old. Come on now. We remember he went top 5 in the draft. He could go crazy in an offense with Jaden Daniels throwing him the football. This ain't Michael Penix, bro. This is not Michael Penix. Hey, we got a quarterback coach that knows you already. Maybe we got a leg up in the game. Maybe that late Raheem Morris defensive coordinator interview is still in the cut in case we strike out with all our other guys and we pivot to him like we pivoted to Dan Quinn. Hope I'm kidding, though, because I'm cool. I'm cool. Zach Ertz, I wish you a speedy recovery. I think it's time to hang him up. I think you'd be excellent on TV. Austin Hooper, Foster Moreau. I'm going to file him in the Tyler Conklin. If it's better than doing nothing and just rolling with Sennett and Yankoff and Bates, but let's circle back to them. Troutman, same cat. Yep, these next 3 names on the list, circle all 3 of them shits. Foster Moreau, Adam Troutman, Tyler Conklin. If AP moving like he's moved through these last 2 off seasons, then I could surely see these guys being the guy. But, I will take it over Ben Sennett and company, though, because there's too much mystery there. Durham Smythe as well. But Mo Alley Cox, shout out to the VCU legend, by the way. Darren Waller, these are older tight ends, but if it came down to it, they're not going to cost you anything. I believe Chiggy Okonkwo from Tennessee is going to be on this list. Isaiah Likely, ding, ding, ding. I think he's 25. He has not really went crazy as a tight end yet because he's had to share the room with Mark Andrews. He's been banged up a couple times, but I think Likely is the guy that for sure is not getting franchised, will be out on the open market, and will be flirting with all of the teams that are interested in his services. Shout out to Janky Rondo. Janky Rondo had him on stream playing NCAA football with him last night. Janky was doing his best to try to recruit this man. He even told him straight up, we need you in burgundy and gold next year. And he was just laughing. And he doesn't sound like he's totally against going back to Baltimore, but he didn't sound like someone that's dying and needs to go back to Baltimore. He played it real cool. He's like, I mean, at the end of the day, a business is a business. If they got to show me they want me, if they want me back in Baltimore. So Isaiah Likely, almost 26 years old, very little tread on the tires, hasn't got the breakout yet. You would come to a tight end room where you are the guy. You are the featured, dynamic, move around piece. You are the Sam Laporta of this offense. Get busy, man. Shout out to Coastal Carolina, by the way. But Isaiah Likely, Chigo Conquo, Kyle Pitts, let's at least go there before we jump to the Adam Troutmans and the Tyler Conklins of the world. Let's throw our hat in the ring. You know, similarly to how we're interviewing Brian Flores, while I don't think Flores gets the job, then you go out there and you at least try. Washington is in on Okonkwo, on Pitts, on Likely. You go do that. And then, Kate Otten. Oh, no, you're on my list as well. So my short list of let's go be told no or let someone offer them more money. But we got money to spend, bro. We don't have to put the entire salary cap under the mattress for a rainy day. We can spend some money in 2026, man. We can spend some money in 2026. So I would not be mad at Cade Otten, Chigi Okonkwo, Kyle Pitts, Isaiah Likely. One of those four can be had if you want them. And we should want them because we can't look in a mirror and tell ourselves Ben Sinnott is absolutely the guy. We have a tight end one in him. We can't do that, bro. We can't do that shit. That just would not be good for business. It would not be good for business. And come on, man. We could do better than that, bro. We can't encourage Vinny Serrato type activity. We can't encourage reckless spending at positions that we don't even need just because we know the name. But we can call a spade, and we can keep it a buck about the tight end position, man. Ben Sinnott could turn out to be a dynamic tight end too. We have been shown nothing, and he has given coaches no reason to put him out there and target him a bunch in his 2 years here in DC. So we need to act accordingly when free agent starts. We're going to talk some more in a second. I've been looking to find the best deal on Washington Commanders tickets for the 2025 season, which is why I want to give the sponsor of today's video, Seatgeek, a huge shout out. With over 28 million downloads, Seatgeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. There are more than 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, including concerts, sporting events, festivals, and more. The NFL is right around the corner, and MLB is in full swing. I love using SeatGeek. Recently used it, lock in my training camp tickets. Most notably, I was at the Grand National Tour with my son, Kendrick Lamar, and SZA at Northwest Stadium. SeatGeek has your back. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 through 10, so you know you're getting a good deal. So look for the green dots. Green means good, red means bad, plus every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee. And you know I had to come through for y'all using promo code RIO10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code RIO10. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically sent to your account so you can use it later. Thank you, SeatGeek, for sponsoring this video. Very great point, bro. Nepotism, very great point. Chanel. Shout out to Chanel, by the way. I know your hubs is on Cloud 9 watching Drake May and company in the playoffs right now, by the way, man. But a lot of this is the league. Everybody got a son that got a friend in a coaching staff. It's what they do. But we not going to act like DJ Williams didn't already hold this position, though. DJ Williams is a QB coach already. He's already held the title. So technically, he's more experienced and qualified than Bercovici. But Bercovici's name, that shit ring off. Vici. It shit sounds like some Genevieve. It sounds cool as hell. It sounds like a name you'd hear on The Godfather or a Scorsese film. And the fact that he's worked in the same room with Jaden Daniels before, had us doing backflips over that shit. I was cool either way it went. I think I wanted the other guy a little more for the reasons that I just named, but I'm not here to throw any smut on the name of DJ Williams, man. Shout out to Doug Williams' son, DJ Williams, for being our quarterback coach, man. Went to Grambling State just like Pops, was a quarterback himself, been a quarterback coach for the last 2 years, and was an offensive assistant for a couple years with the Saints. So he been in the league, even though he's only 32 years old. I like the youth here. Also, Dan Quinn love him some brothers, man. Dan Quinn love him some brothers. 98% of what we've interviewed this offseason been niggas, bro. Lunda Wells, Drew Terrell. We're about to interview T. Martin, Denard Wilson, Patrick Graham, Karl Scott, Brian Flores. The names don't stop. And then you just sprinkle in Jonathan Gannon, sprinkle in David Blau. But Quinn love the brothers, man. Shout out to DQ, man. We got to get active this offseason, man. We got to get active this offseason. How many brothers we gotta hire to get those extra draft picks? They're like, hey, noticing where them compensatory picks for hiring brothers, man, because that is a thing. That is a thing. David Blau, this is true. Olympic sprinter, by the way. Now, DQ a cool dude, bro. DQ is a great. Why do you think people speak so highly on his name, bro? DQ like the cool security guard from your school that everybody loves. And I know who that was in my high school back in the day. Coach Lee, man. RIP to my guy, Vernon Lee. That brother meant a lot to me. He's like the cool guy that works at the school that everybody fucks with. Everybody goes and talk to him about your problem. The type of person that it could be 10 years down the line and you don't know who to come to. You call someone like Dan Quinn, they're going to pick up that phone. They're going to answer it. They're going to hear you out, and they're going to give you some of the best life advice and wisdom you'll ever see. It's why people swear by Dan Quinn. And while I said all of that, I need to see more from Dan Quinn, the coach. I need to see more from Dan Quinn, the decision maker, the time manager, and CEO of this operation. Since we're playing the CEO coach game and we didn't go the offensive-minded young head coaching route, even though we tried to, I need to see more from my CEO. Man. What's good? Yep, Christian Gonzalez's older sister is David Blau's wife. Yep, very cool clip going around of him with the Detroit Lions, and everybody was rooting for his wife in the Olympics. Really cool shit, man. And while I love the stories, I love the brotherhood, I love the culture, I love all that shit, here is the harsh reality of that shit. Don't none of that shit win you a goddamn thing. Don't none of it promise or assure you success in this league. Brotherhood ain't finna out-scheme your opponents on Sunday. But I have a feeling that once we make this defensive coordinator hire, we will finally have a competitive advantage from the coaching staff. Because as we sat there this year, we didn't have a competitive advantage. And you can't make something out of nothing when your coaches aren't out coaching the other. Like even with injuries, there are some teams, not saying just the 49ers, there are some teams that even when they get banged up, they still flourish. They still find their way to production, and they can squeak by without some of their main players because of coaching. I want to be in that type of world, man, because when you empower someone like Dan Quinn with this CEO coach shit, it means he always has to keep his coordinators on 100 or his job becomes unsafe. Your job security rests within the success of your coaches. So show me that you went out and you hired the best two people for these jobs. Period. Nothing to even think about. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Brotherhood is not X's and O's. Brotherhood don't beat that. culture is culture, and culture is one thing. But we're gonna get active, man. I feel we're about to have an aggressive off season, man. Buckle up for it. I'm here for the ride. I'm gonna be back when they make a hire. Something told me today. Wait on it. Something's gonna come out today. We got the Flores interview. We got the Karl Scott interview. Something said, give it a few more. Give it a few more ticks, and something else may happen. But brotherhood or not, I like the approach that they're taking, unless they somehow promote from within for the defensive coordinator position. As long as they don't do that shit, I'm cool. As long as I don't wake up in the morning to Jason Simmons has been promoted the defensive coordinator, or Ken Norton Jr. But damn, y'all, so Verizon and all that shit is still down? It's still down. What's going on? I heard it was more than Verizon. I heard it was Verizon, AT&T, Xfinity. Who hacking into our country right now, man? Who is hacking into our country? Yeah, it's been happening all day. My son's phone wouldn't even ring. He had to FaceTime me on his school Wi-Fi. Yo, Pops, come pick me up. This shit's crazy, man. I hope it's not affecting y'all's jobs or anything like that. And if it is, I hope it's like a paid go home type situation. But that's all I got for now. I just wanted to talk to y'all about the coaching interviews. We got us a new quarterbacks coach. Shout out to Doug's boy. Shout out to DJ Williams. Shout out to having a young ass OC and QB coach, by the way. These are the two guys that are going to be mostly the most spend the most time with our quarterback. It's youngest shit in the room, bro. They 5 and 7 years older than Jaden. They can go kick it with that boy in the offseason. But let's get active. Let's find out who this defensive coordinator is going to be. Let's start talking offensive line coach soon. I'm sure my boy Lou is about to go live after I get off the live, because you should just bank on news that's going to come out if Lou streams earlier, because news always comes out after Louis T finishes a stream. So maybe I need to be on the lookout once Lou goes live tonight. But that's all I got for right now, man. Smash that like button. Congratulations, DJ Williams. Fingers crossed for Brian Flores. If it ain't Brian Flores, give me Karl Scott from Seattle. And once you get Karl Scott from Seattle, you make him leverage those relationships with the Josh Jobs, Tariq Woolens of the world, and bring me some of those Seattle free agents in the offseason. That's what I got for right now, man. I hope these outages aren't affecting y'all too much. Hail to the Washington Commanders. Unless some more news comes out tonight, I will see y'all at some point tomorrow. Talk soon. Be well.